machines. Behind the work, the hard work, this would not have been possible. Once again, on behalf of the Minister of Health, I'd like
this morning has been clinical services, and we are here to see for the biggest.
Breathe a mask that the oxygen's not warmed, it comes out at 16 degrees, it dries out secretions. We use tap water, which we boil, that puts the nasal prongs on like this. And they're designed so that they don't fit tight. We've had people with leptospirosis, COPD.
Your Excellency, the New Zealand High Commissioner, Honourable Excellency Jonathan Kerr, staff from the New Zealand High Commission, the Acting Permanent Secretary for Health, Dr. James Wong, and also staff of the Ministry of Health and members of the media that are here. I'm very pleased to be here at the handing over of the 40 extra Airvo high-flow oxygen machines that the New Zealand government, through its embassy here in Fiji, has donated to us. You may be aware that they had initially donated 40, which we now are using throughout all our major hospitals throughout Fiji. But this addition of another 40 brings in total their donation to now 18. And I've seen the effectiveness of this, and I've heard so much about what it has been doing. And again, as a clinician, I used to hear this when Dr. Lisa used to talk about this high-flow oxygen machine. And the fact that New Zealand has committed itself to the high-flow oxygen machine has been able to enable us to work on other areas that are important in providing adequate oxygenation and also respiration to patients who may be affected by COVID-19 as we were preparing. Over the course of the year, we've had 15 new ventilators that have arrived into the country, and the 50 ventilators that we have purchased specifically for COVID-19, we have 5 that are arriving in mid-July, and the rest have been prepaid and will be arriving throughout the course of the year. And so the fact that New Zealand has been supporting us through this $1.5 million grant in the 80 Airvos that have been given to us has allowed us to use the COVID-19 budget to other areas that will be very helpful in terms of ICU support. And intensive care and critical care is an important part of the Ministry of Health services that we have in Fiji. We're very grateful that we have a training program that is in place in Fiji, and Dr. Lisa heads the program specifically for critical care, and we've been able to churn out some of our specialists that we have in Fiji and also throughout the region who are very capable in the area of intensive care and critical care. I've said it all along that the recovery of the 18 patients didn't happen by fluke. It was because of a whole of government effort led ably by our Honourable Prime Minister. But the fact in a hospital level, we have very capable clinicians and physicians in the hospital level, apart from those in public health. So in public health is led by Dr. Lisha and her teams. But at the hospital level, when they are admitted to the hospital, we have very capable clinicians who are working hand in hand, providing guidelines and processes by which these patients are looked after. And the fact that they have the Airvo machines and the ventilators are another tool within the area of tools that they can use specifically for supporting COVID-19 and all other diseases that we are facing. And we also have heard that we've had the climate-sensitive diseases such as leptospirosis after T.C. Harold. We must remember that T.C. Harold is a Category 4 cyclone. It is a severe storm. And the fact that we've had COVID-19, we may have not reminded ourselves how severe that storm was. If we have to remember that T.C. Harold was a severe storm, a Category 4 cyclone that went through the bottom half of Fiji, devastated quite a large number of homes and communities, and also the weather effect that it brought and the climate-sensitive diseases, with leptospirosis, which are high in numbers in certain geographical areas in Fiji, dengue fever, and also typhoid and diarrheal diseases. But nevertheless, we have been working, and again, as I said, we've been very fortunate that throughout this, we've been working with all government stakeholders who have come on board and supported us out in the communities. We even had His Excellency leading the cause in terms of the civil servants in the cleanup campaigns, and the fact that they are also helping us has been very helpful to what we've done. Yesterday I was with the Honourable Prime Minister as he opened the Tamasua nursing station in the Asawa, and we were there in the Asawa. We have about 11 facilities in the Asawa, 3 health centers and also 8 nursing stations, and this became the 9th. It was in Tamasua that served 3 villages in a very remote area of Fiji, Before we used to have a guideline for nursing stations in Fiji, in which there had to be a population of 500 or more to have a nursing station. And then the Honourable Prime Minister asked that we forego this and looked at geographical dislocation. So based on this, we've built new nursing stations. So the budget came through from the Office of the Prime Minister's office, but the fact that we were there and had a new nursing station in this dislocated area was also, for me, something very pleasant to see, that we are not only pushing in terms of the hospitals and the equipment and the facilities we need in the hospital, but we're also pushing out in terms of our visibility on the ground and the fact that we have platforms to be able to use so that we can be able to deliver the health services that are needed at the public health level. So after coming back from Yasao yesterday and that pleasant day and seeing staff nurse Anare from Ra now manning the new Tamasua nursing station, and then coming today in our premier hospital and one of the most premier departments, which is anesthesia and critical care, and seeing that they have another new tool just brings to the fore that we are developing in all areas in health. And for that, I'm truly thankful. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa, Honourable Minister, PS, Dr. Lisa, and invited guests this morning. It's a pleasure to be here for the handover of the Airvo devices. And before I go further, I would like to begin just again by congratulating the Government of Fiji, congratulating the Ministry of Health and under the leadership of the Honourable Minister for the tremendous job that Fiji has done containing and eliminating COVID-19 in this country. That's very worth a clap. Fiji has shown that a country in the South Pacific is just as capable as anywhere else in the world of getting this new pandemic under control, and it is a tremendous achievement, and I congratulate Fiji once again for that. As Dr. Lisa has explained, we had a discussion with health officials some time ago as we were preparing for the pandemic, and this particular device was brought to our attention as something that could prove to be helpful. And I've since seen this validated, not just through the explanation that Dr. Lisa has provided, but also on a YouTube clip which was sent to me about a month ago of a hospital in Kansas in the United States using this device to great effect for the treatment of COVID-19 patients. And I think that validates the effectiveness of this device for that treatment. And one of the great things about this particular device as well is also that it is manufactured by a New Zealand company, Fisher & Paykel Healthcare, and it is manufactured in Auckland. It was designed in New Zealand. And so it is a great pleasure for me to be able to be handing over a device not only as part of our contribution to Fiji, but one which is actually from New Zealand itself. One of the things I think that is also very useful about this device, and Dr. Lisa has explained it, is even though it may not have been used to any scale in the treatment of COVID-19 patients in Fiji, its use for other conditions here, such as the leptospirosis outbreaks that occurred after Tropical Cyclone Harold, also for those patients with pneumonia for a variety of reasons, or even those patients in some kind of respiratory distress from the effects of dengue fever, etc., have been able to benefit from this device. And even though Fiji has managed its COVID-19 so effectively, we know from New Zealand's experience just this week, where we've had 3 new COVID positive patients, that Fiji, with 80 of these devices now in place around the country, is well prepared for any eventuality when we're dealing with COVID-19 in the future. And as New Zealand's experience has shown, we are all likely to have to deal with this at some point in the future again. Getting down to COVID-0 doesn't necessarily mean getting down to COVID-0 forever. we're going to have to manage this pandemic for some time to come. I want to make particular mention of the importance to us of our relationship, not just with the staff of CWM Hospital, but with the wider Ministry of Health, which has enabled this partnership to take place. And it also speaks to the strength of the Fiji-New Zealand relationship. The Airvo devices are just one part of the assistance that New Zealand has provided to Fiji. These devices, 80 of them, come to the relatively modest cost of about $1.5 million, which goes to show how effective a relatively small amount of money in the face of this global pandemic can be. In total, we've assisted with about $8 million through the government of Fiji, including an additional $1 million through the World Health Organization to deal with its Pacific response plan to the pandemic as well. And even now, while things seem to be under control, we are focusing on how we can assist Fiji and other countries in the Pacific with the very difficult and challenging issue of economic recovery. And that is a work that, just like we have done with the health care and health preparedness, it is work that we will do together for as long as it is needed. So with that, I'd just like to reference a saying that we have in Te Reo Māori, he waka eke noa, we are all in this together, together we can. And this symbolises the work that we will do into the future. I now have a special treat for you. The New Zealand High Commission team, who is here, as is sometimes customary, perform a brief waiata. They have volunteered to do this today, even though they were expecting to do this at a very informal event around some morning tea. But they are ready now to sing for us. Naka.
And then you just move along, it'll let you sort of kick it to 30 degrees, but this actually, so you don't need any hospital space, you can autoclave yourself. It's a 50-minute process. Then, so that each device has its own. And then once it's autoclaved, you just set it up ready to go. So these are just, so essentially, he's got an even worse one than this, yeah. So one day of the Airvo review